Showers and thunderstorms will be around, with lows dropping down to 60 to 65. An unsettled day for Friday, some rainy periods possible early on, but those should diminish later in the afternoon. Highs top out in the mid-70s. And for the weekend, a mixture of sun and clouds Saturday with a high of 70. And for Sunday, a couple showers possible, 70 to 75. From the WSNJ Weather Center, I'm Mike Mahalik.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi, I want to report a bear sighting.
Location?
My front door.
Oh, really? And did the bear knock or use the doorbell?
He used the doorbell. It was Smokey Bear.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, my husband was burning leaves in the yard. He just came inside for a second.
Not a good idea.
Smokey said the same thing. He said to never leave a fire unattended because it could lead to a wildfire.
Yeah, but if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave.
Smokey said that too.
We go way back. I knew him when he was just a cub.
Oh, how cute.
Rangers are many things, ma'am, but cute isn't one of them. Have a nice day. If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference. Because 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans. Brought to you by Smokey Bear, the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at smokeybear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
The following program here on WSNJ and QBC TV2 is a paid political program.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for joining us here at WSJN. I'm having a program called The Voice of an Independent Nation. It's specifically for our local area. I want to talk about a few things that are troubling me, and I'm sure some of you are experiencing the same things. Some of you may or may not know I am running for political office, Congress in District 2 against Frank Lobiando for the House of Representatives. My name is David W. Bowen Sr. Again, we're located in the South Jersey area, the bottom third of New Jersey. Covers all of District 2. There are a few things I would like to talk about. If any of you feel the need or desire to call, the phone number is 856-765-1240 for those of you who do not know the number. There are a couple things I would like to talk about. There's some key issues. I'm kind of distraught with the fact that Mr. Lobiando will not debate the candidates running against him. There's a total of 5 running against him, including myself. Democratic is Cassandra Schober. There's a Frank Farelli. There's John Ordilli. And there's one more. I forget his name. But we just feel that it's impertinent that he does debate, to go over his issues with the people, to give the people an understanding as to what his way of thinking is and why he's voting a certain way, because he states the fact that he thinks that we as constituents do not know, that we do know his issues, and I found that we obviously don't, because what he states are his issues is not the same way that he is voting. And we're kind of confused here. It's kind of the reason why I decided to run, was the mere fact that we don't feel he's representing us as constituents in District 2, as he says he is. What we're finding is that he's voting over 85% of the time with his political party, and that doesn't represent us. That just makes him their puppet. And I'm not in this to run a negative campaign. All I'm doing is stating fact. The fact is anything you can find online, and according to what he votes. And I don't know the gentleman personally. I have seen him a couple times, but he seems well enough. But like I said, we're in this to represent our districts, and he is not serving us properly. We need somebody in there, and that's kind of why I stepped up to bat. I'm hoping that I can get elected to do this, and there are several issues that we do need to address. And what we're finding is after 9 terms or 18 years that he started out doing fine, but it seems like he didn't stay that way. He slowly became a politician. I believe in term limits, and should I be elected, I only want to be elected for 4 terms, 8 years total. If I get everything I need to get accomplished, then so be it. If I do not, it doesn't matter. After 4 terms, I'm leaving. Let somebody else do it. I just feel that if I was not able to accomplish what I set out to, then after 4 terms, I'm not going to. Or if I do, then I've already done it. 4 terms is enough. I think we need that constant overturn, only because you get fresh ideas in there, and you don't have somebody who becomes that becomes their full-time job till the day they die. I mean, that's just ridiculous. It's Congress that we're looking at. We don't need it. The president has term limits. Though it's not constitutional, congressmen should have them too. And like I said, I just felt that 4 terms or 8 years is plenty enough time to get what I need to get done, what people have asked me to do. Pretty much that's where most of my issues come from, is within my own personal life and what I've come across, people telling me that certain things do affect them and they want things done, and they do not feel that the current representation is accomplishing that. We do need to take care of the fiscal situation. Our budget is going haywire, and that's another reason why I feel we need to get our current incumbents out of there, not just in our district, but across the nation, because these people, our current congressmen, are too easily to accept raising the limit and putting all kinds of additional burdens on our future generations by overspending. And it just seems that their inability to spend or to watch what they spend is a problem, and it's affecting us all. It's one thing to go with one program or another, but now they're just going haywire, accepting everything, and they're basically telling us that we have to do it, or there's no other choice. But there are choices. Some of the programs that they just want to cut off the top, which is going to affect a lot of people, but it doesn't have to affect them necessarily negatively. Social Security is a key factor. I do believe that Social Security does need to be revamped, not necessarily cut, just revamped. They do a lot of different things that are basically wasteful. I don't believe that it's necessary, and there's several things that I need to go over, but time constraints, I can't go over everything with you. Medicare is another important issue that I think we need to address. Not take away services, just to revamp the services, the system itself. Military is another one they seem to bring up a lot. They want to keep spending on military, and I think though our military is key, I think spending that much money, we should have owned the world twice over with the amount of money we've spent. I think we need to think about that a little bit better and determine what's the best way to spend that. The problem is not everybody knows how to handle money, and it's obvious because there's a lot of financial things that are happening behind the scenes. Congressmen having trouble with their mortgages. They used to have a bank inside the Congress specifically for congressional members, and they basically had to shut it down because the congressmen were just running rampant with it. I don't know for sure if that was our congressman. I'm not trying to insinuate anything. It's just something I read. His name was not brought up. What separates me from the other candidates is I have a solution to many of our problems. I'm not saying I'm super intelligent or anything like that. What I'm saying is we can all sit here around a coffee shop and say, you know what, this is an issue, that's an issue. What takes a key special person is the fact that they come up with a solution to those problems. I've spoken with several different experts on different matters that have been brought to my attention and that I've realized in current issues that are happening now. And what I found is that we can make adjustments to certain things, and I just don't feel that is happening. It seems like, especially now, our congressmen keep taking breaks. They had a 5-week hiatus, and then they worked for 2 weeks, and now they're off until November for campaigning. I just think that negatively affects us as a nation, and specifically us as a district, and I think we need to rectify that by voting the incumbents out. If they can't do anything while they're in office, there's no sense having them there. Yeah, there are plenty of people to do the job. In Frank Lobiondo's office alone, he has 18 people working for him, and I really can't understand why he needs that many people, because he's not doing that much. He submitted 10 bills in the 18 years he's been in office. Not one of those bills has been approved. He's co-sponsored several bills, and all them bills, I'm not sure that quite the amount, I don't have that figure in front of me, but I think only 8 got approved. And the past 2 years since his last term, he hasn't submitted one bill. And you do a little bit more research and you find out the reason for that is he's doing a lot of secret work now. According to the information I've come across, it states that he goes out of the country. He's doing a lot of stuff because he's part of the Intelligence Committee. But, he's not representing us if he's doing this other stuff. I mean, that sounds like spy work or Secretary of State work, not necessarily congressional work. We need congressmen there to represent us, and I'm not seeing that. I mean, anytime something positive comes into our district, and that district involves a total of 8 counties, 4 whole counties and 4 partial counties. The 4 whole counties would be Cumberland, Cape May, Salem, and Atlantic. The partial counties would be Ocean, Burlington, Gloucester, and Camden counties. I'm sure by now you realize what district you are in, because there is some fine lines there, and they did some redistricting back in January because of the 2010 census. But what we're finding is that anything that comes into our district that's positive, whether Lobiondo has anything to do with it or not, he'll hang his hat on it just to get his name in the picture. And I mean, that's not the way you should do things. If you're going to do something positive, then fine, take the credit for it. But if you had nothing to do with it, then we shouldn't be hearing about you. I just think that instead of worrying about putting your hat in the picture, actually do something for it. I mean, he set up something. There was the motocross thing down here, the car track he set up a few years back. He was part of that. But now I'm hearing that they're in bankruptcy or just about in bankruptcy. Cause it was just $100 million of our hard-earned money that went to finance something that just was not going to work. Or another program is Next Gen Aviation down here, which sounds great. The problem is, after 6-7 years, they haven't even started building it yet. I know it's been a monetary issue. They were holding off on the money, but, I mean, we can't hold on to promises forever. We need to start getting stuff done. We lived in a depressive area, and I think so much needs to happen in our area. Now, what I would like to see is better improvements with our infrastructure. Improve the roads. I'm not talking painting some lines. I'm talking actually make the roads better, because I don't know about you guys, but just traveling around here in the past 6 months, I had 2 blowouts. And that kind of affects us after a while. What I'd also like to see is better transit. Transit into areas where people can actually go out and get jobs. Now, these are just some of the areas I'm touching. There's a lot more. Go on my website, davidwbowen.com. That's DAVIDWBOWEN.com. That has a list of the issues that I'm looking to tackle, and any more that you guys can offer, I will be glad to look into as well, because that's the key to our nature. As a congressman, we are servants to our constituents, not the other way around. You know, we're not out there, we don't become celebrities. We are people who are actually working for you. We are the one voice on Capitol Hill for you. So whatever your needs are, that's our job, or that will, if you elect me, be my job to do that. Now, one thing I found is Lou Biondo has an office, obviously in Washington, D.C., but he has one here in Mays Landing. Now, I don't know about you, but it's difficult for a lot of people to get to Mays Landing if they have to talk with him or his office. What I would like to see is 2 offices at least spread out through our district, possibly one in Woodstown, which will cover the eastern or the western portion, and one closer, not in Mays Landing, but one closer further south, to be able to pick up the rest, of possibly even a third one further down towards the Cape May area, the Green Creek area. Only because we have to be in contact with the people. And I don't know about you, but I've always found it difficult to, unless I was a fan of Lo Biondo or he's having a specific event, it wasn't always as easy to get in contact with him. You always had to deal with his people, which I can understand that to a point too, because he's not always available. But at the same token, as a congressman, you have to make yourself available. If any of you feel like calling in, don't hesitate. Again, the number is 856-765-1240. We have a few more minutes left of the program. This is only a half-hour program. It will be a weekly program. I want to touch base with a little bit more with you, and we'll go on from there. If you guys have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to call. The email for our campaign is Bowen, the number 4, Congress @gmail.com. So that's BOWEN, the number 4, Congress, CONGRESS @gmail, GMAIL.com. All right. Just going over a couple more things with you. I do believe that we do need to address jobs issues. The economy, jobs is part of the economy. There's also spending. There's also growth. One of the few things that you don't hear from the other camps is growth. We have to build the economy to the point to where growth will occur, and at that point, jobs will start becoming available. We just can't go and harp about jobs because, there's no reason for jobs to occur. If you look at it, specifically New Jersey, it's very difficult for a business to start up and get funding. We need to start getting funding. We need to set that up. Funding is the key thing with it. And there's a lot of businesses, a lot of people out there who have ideas, but they have no way of funding it. Oh, yeah, I think all people need to have some skin in the game. But what I'm finding is that there are people out there with excellent ideas that do not have the money to put skin in the game. And their portion of the skin in the game could be their hard-earned work, their ambitions to do it, get it done. So, let's see. I'd like to put together a program with the SBA, the SBIC, and some venture capitalists and some local banks in the area. And I believe we can sit down and use our local federally funded and state-funded colleges as incubators for these. And I find that this could work. Some of the colleges now currently do have some sort of entrepreneur class, incubators that would do this. And I believe if we utilize that a little bit more, And I'm not asking that the government have any control other than the fact that we're guiding and we're teaching these people and providing the funding, not a blank check. Do not take that the wrong way. I mean, putting the avenues together and all the pieces together of the puzzle to where people can start putting their plans together and implementing them. I think that's very important that we set up those programs. Excuse me. And once we do that, that will start creating a few more jobs. And like I said, if we have the money available for local businesses to start building up their business, I believe that that will start allowing businesses to grow to the point, possibly even move to a bigger location, and they can actually start adding jobs. One of the key things that I believe is there are always two sides to every coin is not only good jobs, but also jobs with benefits. I find that most people don't have a problem providing benefits if they have the income, and they can't do it if they don't have the income. And I think that's part of the problem we're experiencing now with businesses and this Obamacare is that businesses come next year, in a few years when it fully takes effect, is they're going to have to pay several $1,000s a year per person, and that's going to affect them. And I don't see how businesses will be able to stay in business because of that. And it's just ridiculous the things that our current congressmen will vote for. And I know some of the times they vote for stuff and they're given a call and they're saying you have 15 minutes to approve this, and there's no room for debate. And I just don't see how we can run like that as a Congress. And we have too many situations that are going on for them just to decide to leave and call it a session. You know, our America's hurting, and we need some help. And we got some stuff going on internationally that we need to address, where our people are being killed for just because they're there. And I just don't believe that that problem is being addressed. I've done a lot of research, and I urge you to do the same. All the information that I'm getting is on all the government websites and all the news websites. So please don't hesitate to verify everything, fact check. Like I said, I don't want to run a negative campaign. Everything I'm bringing up is fact as per what I'm able to find out. I'm not saying the internet is 100% truthful, but most of the stuff I pull up is from the government, so I'm hoping that at least that information is somewhat truthful, though we know sometimes that isn't. There are so many factors that are important that I want you to look into. More importantly, look on my website to stay current on everything. And this broadcast will also be on my website, as well as others that I have. Please don't hesitate to email us or look into the website. Again, it's davidwbowen.com or bowen4congress@gmail.com for the email. We have a few more minutes. 2 minutes. We have a few more minutes left before the end of our show. Again, like I said, it was only a half-hour show, as it will be each week. Voice of an Independent Nation. Do not hesitate to call when we're on. It'll be on every Thursday at 1 o'clock, actually about like 1:05 after the station call letters. I'm going to try to bring on some guests occasionally. Feel free to call in at that time too. There's plenty of things that we can talk about. Anything that does concern you, like I said, it's the voice of an independent nation. What that means could be anything for you, specifically the independent parties. But we also have to be independent as a nation. We have to separate ourselves and continue on our own independence, because as you know, the rest of the world does follow us, and we have to maintain our current educational system so we can improve upon that. Again, this is David W. Bowen Sr. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and don't hesitate to listen in. Have a good day.
Thank you, David. You've been listening to David W. Bowen, voice of an independent nation. David will be here every Thursday right after the 1 o'clock news here on WSNJ. We just want to remind you the preceding was a paid political program. Coming up, NBC News headlines at 1:30, and then Sandy Taylor will be along with her show, Everybody's Talking. Stay tuned.
AM 1240 and WSNJAM.com.